All right, I just did something very rare. I filmed a whole video for the Chargers, and then I just put it right in the trash because I didn't like it. I wanted to be more coherent when I was talking. So now hopefully you get a better, what's the word I want to say? Look at me. I'm already rambling again, right? Hopefully this makes more sense. It's more linear, the video that I'm going to make you. Before we get into this, the Chargers just signed in the last few days a corner, which I think can help. He can play opposite of Samuel, and he can play the outside. But again, it's one of those signings where it's like, okay, and that's what the Chargers offseason has been, hasn't it? It's been a bunch of, okay, signings. So here's what we're going to do in this video. We're going to go over who the signings were. We're going to talk about who the new corner is, but then we are going to talk about what the clear path is for Horitz and Harbaugh. Like, we need to talk about this because the path is clear and why you can have success definitely next year, but possibly even this year. So we're going to look to a team for hope for this year, look to a team of the past for success going forward, and hopefully you leave watching this 8 to 10 minute video feeling more encouraged than when you came in. All right, so let's first start with the transactions that the Chargers have made. All right. They got rid of Kendricks. They don't say on here, but Eckler's gone. They re-signed Dicker the kicker and Foster Sorrell, whatever it is. They got rid of Williams. They traded Keenan Allen. Right. So it's just like, just shot after shot after shot. And then it's like, all right, well, now we start signing some people. Oh, good. We re-signed Easton Stick. Oh, good. We got Gus Edwards and Poona Ford and Hayden Hurst. And by the way, none of those are bad signings. They are middle-of-the-road players that are a good veteran presence in the locker room. We'll talk about that later. Denzel Perryman, even more of a veteran presence. All right, the most recent one is cornerback Christian Fulton. This is a guy who is playing for the Titans. He's played 4 years. I want to say he was a second-round pick. I don't know what pick. I don't know what round he was picked. I'm not even going to say I want to say what he was because I don't know. But here's what I do know. He put up decent numbers. All right? He was hurt last year. And I'm gonna pull up these numbers for you with Fulton. And this is what I think is interesting. If you look at PFF, his rookie year out of the gate, he struggled a little bit. He did. But then when he was healthier in 2021 and in 2022, hey, he was a second-round pick out of LSU. In 2021 and 2022, he played low-level starter quality football. So the way I get that, when you're ranked 51st and 63rd, there are 64 starting outside corners in the NFL. That's just the way it goes. So if you're rated in the top 64, you are a starting caliber corner. You want one corner to be rated in the top 32 and one corner that's rated in the top 64. All right? Preferably, you'd rather have two that are rated in the top 32. Last year, he struggled. So here's the deal. You're getting this guy on a deal, a good deal, and it's because he's coming off a hamstring injury. That was a nagging injury. He only played in 11 games, and he ended up sitting out at the end of the season. He just couldn't get healthy. All right, so now you're going to get him back. He's 25 and a half years old currently. All right, it'll be his year 26 season. I think he'll turn 26 during the season, maybe. All right, and it'll be his year 26 season, and he has the opportunity to say, hey, I'm either a starting caliber corner or I'm not. I'm either a starting caliber corner or I'm not. All that's good. Like, this is the kind of signing that signifies exactly what you should be doing. And here's what that is. I need everybody to understand the cap situation of your Chargers right now. Because I know you can say, oh, but we got $35 million or so to spend. First off, we don't know what those salaries are going to be this year. But here's the problem. You've got guys that you are paying a ton of money to not play here. J.C. Jackson, Mike Williams, Keenan Allen. There you go. And that is the bulk of the $51 million dead money cap hit. That's a lot of cap money that's dead. All right? That's all it is. I was trying to find while I'm talking to you, the largest dead cap in the money NFL team, but I'm struggling finding it. So I'm going to keep talking. But like that is a large, large number. All right? Like the largest numbers we've ever seen are like in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. But still, that is a big number for this year. It is very hard to compete for a Super Bowl when you have 20% plus of your salary cap going to nothing. So here's what they did. They get rid of Mike Williams and they get rid of Keenan Allen. All right? They get a little something back for Keenan Allen because not because they couldn't they couldn't contribute this year. They could. The problem is they're not going to contribute in 2 or 3 years. Keenan Allen's already 31, right? Like the oldest receiver in the league last year was 34 years old, and he ended up retiring halfway through the season. It was Marvin Jones Jr. It's the oldest receiver in the league. There is a shelf life on receivers, and some can end up playing a little bit longer, but the returns are extremely diminishing. And it seems like based on how he was not willing to take a pay cut or restructure the cap, I don't think he was going to be in the plans long-term for the Chargers, so they had to move on. But they didn't move on from Bosa. So by not moving on from Bosa or Mac, you have the option here. So when you go into 2025, all right, the way the contracts are built in, all right, you've got the ability right now, if you let go of Bosa, you already have $98 million in cap space, not this year, but next year. And if you let Bosa go, it's another $25 million on top of that. $123 million in available cap space. Hello. That's where you want to be. So that is planning for the future. That's realizing we're going to get all of our draft picks in and we're going to develop our young players more so than, oh, let's make a Super Bowl run this year when we have $50 million on the cap. But is there still hope for being a good team this year? Because I said I would talk about that. All right? Yes, there's hope for being a good team this year, and I look no further than the Houston Texans. You have good quarterback play, right? Let's think about, I know it's touchy. Let's think about the Chiefs. How was their talent level on their offense last year? Right? Outside of Kelsey, they had Patrick Mahomes. And they were able to get it done. Why? Because they're well coached and they have a stud quarterback. The Chargers now fit in the category of well-coached stud quarterback. The Houston Texans unexpectedly had a stud quarterback. DeMeco Ryans has shown that he knows how to coach a football team, and they have a stud quarterback. So, even though they had dead cap, even though they had young players, even though it didn't seem like they had a ton of talent, quarterback rose the other positions up on the offense. Thank you, C.J. Stroud. And the good coaching helped round out the roster, and they were able to make a playoffs and win a playoff game. Why can't the Chargers do that? I'm not saying that would be my expectation as the roster currently stands. Let's wait to see what they do with the remaining $35 million. Let's wait to see what they are going to do in the NFL draft and fill holes and what's needed. But they decided instead of going out and getting in a spending spree with other teams that had their full wallets when they were sitting there with a wallet that had $51 million not in it, they said instead of going for spending free in the first and second wave of free agency, let's hang out, let's get some of the lower level signings, some good depth pieces at positions that we absolutely need, and then what we'll do instead is we'll then see what happens in the draft. We'll see which players are going to be released, who can be signed, who will be post-June 1 cap cuts that could absolutely come and help the Chargers right now. That's what people forget. There are multiple waves to free agency. It's not just this one. So anyways, that's my 2 cents. I think the plan is clear. It was a good signing by Fulton. And let's see what the Chargers continue to do. And I'm actually intrigued by the fact that they're taking their time. All right, we want to be your go-to spot. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of the video. And just so much appreciate what the Chargers fans have done in support of this pretty new channel. All right, thanks for watching. See ya.